Dengeki Bunko's popular light novels will be released in large quantities. This time, we will be introducing some notable light novels that will be released in January. We will introduce them not only to those who want to know the latest trends in light novels, but also to those who do not usually read light novels to get them interested in light novels. So please watch this video to find the works you're interested in. This time, we will introduce all the noteworthy works that will be released in mid-January, mainly from Dengeki Bunko. The series will also be released in large quantities, so be sure to check it out until the end of the video. Let's get on with it. Let's start with January. Let's pick up the notable sequels in the series from Dengeki Bunko, which will be released on the 10th. Works include She's Usually a Serious Committee Chairman, But Can She Be Your Girlfriend? Volume 2, Hero Syndrome Volume 3, 8686 Volume 13, The Misfit of Demon King Academy Volume 14. I would like to introduce these 4 works right now. Let's pick up the notable sequels in the series from Dengeki Bunko, which will be released on the 10th. I'm Always a Serious Chairman, But I Wonder If I Can Be Your Girlfriend Volume 2, Brave Shoko Group, Volume 3, Volume 8613 Demon, King Academy's Unsuitable Car 14. I would like to introduce these 4 works by Mei Makishita. First of all, this is The Always Serious Chairman, But I Wonder If I Can Be Your Girlfriend. This is from Volume 2. This is a new series that has been sightseeing for 2 consecutive months since last month. It is a school youth as well as an individual. It's a work I'm really looking forward to. The heroine is a serious school committee chairperson, but she has problems with her sense of family, and is a typical youth story where the main character supports her. The heroine is a little behind the scenes. It has a face like that, or rather, it's a little bit like a Corvette. Part of the point is that the main character is being toyed with. The main character is a very attractive character, including those aspects, so the quality of a youth love story is quite high. In the latest volume, there is a sleepover event. It seems like the distance between the 2 of them will become even closer as a result of this. This is a series that is very promising as a romantic comedy work, so if you haven't read it yet, please check it out together with Volume 2. Let's move on to the 3rd volume of Hero Syndrome. This is a modern supernatural battle work that started after winning the gold prize for the Dengeki Novel Awards. It has the catchy keyword hero in the title, but it's set in a rather casual setting. This is an attractive work with a dark story. It's a worldview in which humans become monsters who unconsciously destroy the world by being regulated by a mysterious being called the Goddess. Will humans who have become monsters called heroes be saved or killed? The hero and heroine continue to fight together, even though they are in a conflict. It's a story, including the idea of the setting part. I thought it was the work that felt the most growth among the new works of last year. It's a pretty good idea as a modern innovator work, so be sure to catch up now. Please try it. Continue here. Volume 86, Volume 13. The new issue has arrived. The main volume was released in February last year, so it's been almost a year since I last published it. With the release of the new edition, it feels like the main story of 86 has reached a pace of 1 book a year. A merciless war is unfolding, where the intentions of various factions intersect, centering on the battle between the unmanned weapon legion and humanity. The hard-to-see areas of this city are fully opened up. Anyway, I feel like it's the right answer. It's not kind to the main characters, so there's a fear of not knowing what will happen at any time. In the latest volume, the front line is exhausted by the onslaught of the Legion and the discontent within the Republic. It seems to be a story where the main characters are cornered from inside and outside, such as Kazuha. The synopsis says that the 13th volume includes of fate, and it is a very disturbing story, so it seems like it will be a turning point. Series fans should be prepared for the latest volume. It would be better to call it Continue Here. This is the 2nd part of the 14th volume of The Misfit of Demon King Academy. This work has a steady tourism pace. The 14th volume of this work will be released as soon as possible. The Demon King Anos, reincarnated in the future, leads his friends. However, the 2nd season of the TV anime was also aired last year, and it had been postponed, so it had a rather chaotic impression, but the final episode had a rather chaotic feel. I think it was a pretty good performance overall. In terms of story, the most popular part of the original work has been made into a movie, so this is a good story, but in the latest edition, Chapter 14, the Madan World Edition, is a large-scale one that involves one world, and the feeling of the epic battle. This is a work that features various worlds, so there is a sense of scale. The appeal of this work is that it is constantly being updated. By the way, the series has stopped with this world edition, so I feel like this will be the end of the web series. I think it's a good idea to wait patiently, as I'm sure they're already making preparations for the latest edition. For fans of the series, let's enjoy the latest volume. Other Dengeki Bunko series sequel titles include Boy, Be My Disciple Volume 3, Kill the Sunder Witch, Said the Goddess, Volume 2, and Irreversible Monster with You Volume 2. These series is also on sale. If you are a fan of the series, please do not miss this. Next, let's introduce the notable works of the new series. My first love is too embarrassing to tell anyone. Hokugakari. The handsome, beautiful girl who stole my girlfriend is also targeting me for some reason. Sepia X Separate. Restoration Suspension. After school, at a family restaurant, with that kid in class in Kaibanao. This is a story about friends my childhood friend turns bright red and can't stop showing off how much she loves him. Let's start with the first one. My first love is too embarrassing to tell anyone. This is a new romantic comedy by Tsukasa Fushimi Hiro Kanzaki, who also worked on a manga sensei. It's the first new series from a manga sensei in about 10 years. This time too, it's a romantic comedy with a younger sister heroine, but it has a very unique setting because the protagonist of this work, a high school boy, and his sister, their genders are swapped one day. It all starts from a place where they are apparently two older sisters. It seems like the eldest daughter uses math scientist like technology to change the genders of the two of them. The math scientist character is nice because it makes the story easier to move. In terms of the flow of the story, the older brother, who was made into an anime last year, is done. It's almost like Kanima's love affair with his sister, which begins with a gender swap. It's quite a tricky setting, and it has reached its peak in many ways. If you just look at the setting, it seems like the content will be much sharper than the previous work. However, Fushimi Sensei's romantic comedy will be finished in a way that you can enjoy it as entertainment, so the book I'm looking forward to the work as well. If you want to read an irregular school life romantic comedy, please check out this work. Next, this is Hokugakari. This is a new work by Manabu Koda, a veteran author of Dengeki Bunko, who wrote the highly rated series Missing. The mystery-like atmosphere is impressive. The story of this work seems to be a horror-like story that begins with 6th grade elementary school children being called to a school in another dimension at 12 midnight. It became a fairy tale in the middle of the night. The atmosphere is quite dark. The children are assigned to be the after-school attendants who record and take care of the groups hiding in the school, and they become trapped in the school where the groups live. It's a pretty classic horror setting. There is no fear of the gradual coming of stain. If you only look at the parts, it really feels like a prologue, so it's hard to predict whether this work will be a serious horror story or something more like a different genre. However, advanced serialization has already started on Dengeki, known Nekon Plus, so if you're interested, please check it. It might be a good idea to check it out. By the way, I've been sightseeing this for 2 consecutive months, and the second volume is scheduled to be released next month. Do check it out if you're interested or a fan of the previous book. Restoration Suspension. This is a new work by Koji Natsumi, who worked on Naderu, Sea and Girly Air Force. New works by veteran authors continue. This is science fiction that wafts from the cover. The feeling is really good. The setting of this work seems to be quite interesting. The evolution of 3D bioprinters regenerates humans from backup data. The stage is set in the near future, when it has become possible to regenerate humans. The technology is similar to that of human reproduction, but it seems that the sense of ethics has become quite amazing. In such a near-future world, after being restored from the backup, the protagonist wakes up without any memory of what happened right before his death. Furthermore, a mother-in-law terrorist attack occurs that seals the backup of all humankind's memories. The protagonist is wanted as the culprit, a science fiction series that will be broadcast to uncover the truth behind his own death and incident. I think it's a 100-point rating for suspense. It looks really interesting. Personally, I like science fiction works quite a lot, so I'm looking forward to this work. Next, the handsome, beautiful girl who stole my girlfriend is also targeting me for some reason. This is a school love story where the heroine approaches her. Anyway, the heroine's breasts on the cover are amazing. The main character is a first-year high school student. It all started when she was stolen away by a violent girl from the same school as her. It's quite an unusual story to have a girl stolen away by a girl, but it seems like the heroine who stole her was actually aiming for the main character, so he approaches the main character who has become free. It's quite a power play for the heroine to let the other person go, isn't it? It looks like it's going to be a romantic comedy, where you'll be able to understand the cuteness of the heroine, who is usually a cool person and is always trying to seduce her. There's a huge gap between the heroines. It looks like it'll be fun. It's an unusual romantic comedy that starts with someone stealing his girlfriend, so if you're interested, check it out. Next, here's After School, at a family restaurant with that kid in class. This is a new work with a youthful love voice. Magako Sensei's chest illustrations are also nice. The story of this work is that her parents have remarried and she has to stay at home. The main character, who has become difficult, has no place at home in the same way. It seems like the story is about the heroine and her family spending time together at a family restaurant. As they spend time together, trying to find a reason for each other not to go home, the sense of distance grows closer. Ruling is a typical youth story, right? What I'm curious about is whether they'll have a casual relationship or a relationship where they mutually solve family problems. How far will this one volume go? I'll have to keep an eye on how the story progresses. If you want to read a youth story, you might want to check it out. Ikoi Banana Tea. This is a story about friends. My childhood friend turns bright red and can't stop showing off how much she loves him. This also seems like a school romantic comedy. It looks like it's going to be a romantic comedy of the type that will make you smile. As for the content, it seems like it will be a school romantic comedy in which a boy and a girl who are familiar with unrequited love. It seems like the distance between the two of them changes as the heroine asks the main character what kind of girl she is after being asked by her friend. It's like the main character is a childhood friend or his own. I have a lot of suspicions about whether he likes things or not. It's a sticky beginning, so the impact as a romantic comedy is a little weak. But I think it's quite enjoyable as a romance type. For those who are interested, please check out the sample reading here. And finally, wrapping up the lineup, his corporate Kensei becomes a streamer and a Black Guild office worker, accidentally broadcasts his fight against an S-class monster nationwide over his company line E Volume 1. This is a story where a soldier in a battlefield happens also to be a social media celebrity, as in making livestream videos. VTuber like genre have not often appeared in Squex novels, and this is the author's first time. The story starts with the office worker of a guild challenges the dungeon at work today. As he does that, he accidentally makes a mistake in the distribution settings for his business records and ends up broadcasting his dungeon raids all over the country. With him showing off his extraordinary abilities, the broadcast from his stream turned into a massive numbers. This is somewhat a modern isekai, but with a twist of being a streamer, and that really intrigued me. The office worker that surrounds himself with quite pretty girls alongside him, also battling creatures and villains. And since it's just the first volume, I am curious of what it brings whenever the second volume come out soon. If you're interested in this type of story like this, I recommend you to check it out. So this time I've introduced the new Dengeki Bunko that will be released in mid-January. This time there were quite a lot of new works from Dengeki Bunko. Moreover, there are also new series by veteran authors of Dengeki Bunko. There were a lot of them, so I'm really curious about what kind of story they'll be. It feels like they've really taken Dengeki Bunko seriously. What did you all think of this lineup? If there's a name you're interested in, please let me know in the comments section. That's all for this video. I'll be introducing new books next week as well, so I'd like to thank you for your support of the channel. I would be happy if you could click the subscribe button or watch another video. See you in the next video.